What's going on, guys? It's Bel Air coming to you live from an Airbnb in Raleigh, North Carolina. I wanted to get a video out, but I forgot my microphone. So we're doing it old school. We're doing it from the iPhone. But I took a lot of notes from the event today, looked through some statistics. So I'd be remiss if I didn't make a video and encapsulate this experience. So let's just go ahead and get into it, because I know that this is already going to be a little bit different of a video than what you guys might be normally used to. But what a day. What a weird day. The first two events, the first two matchups rather, both did not go the way that we thought, especially the way that they went. Like, it was Twisted Minds Carmine to start things out, and Carmine actually played them really close in game one, right? It goes into a deep overtime, like 3 or 4 minutes, and I felt like it was really challenge heavy. Like, every play, moving the ball up or down the pitch, was met with 50-50 challenges all over the place. And that was kind of determining the pace of play, but also who had possession. And I felt like that had an outsized impact. Like I said, we go into that deep OT. Twisted Mind's defense was pressured often by Carmine Core, but they were holding strong, and eventually it was broken because Atau gets ahead of the play on kind of a broken one where Rise gets a miss, and Atau bumps Naupo, who's in goal, and Raleigh just kind of walks it in for an easy one. But after that, Game two, Naupo's on the ball a ton. You can see him start to pick his spots. He gets a score early, and you're like, okay, maybe a little something. They end up not being able to really find what they're looking for offensively. A quiet start from Atomic and Rise, and they take their timeout. They go into game three, and they get blasted 5-0. So it's like, okay, this one's done. I actually had tweeted, like, this is over. Look out for Atau. It's on me, guys. That's my mistake, because Twisted Minds come right back. I don't know if they felt like they kind of won it, so they let off the gas, because don't forget, they had beat Twisted Minds 3-0 in Swiss. So up to this point, it's 6-0 for Carmine Core, and they're like, oh my gosh, we're crushing these dudes. We're cruising. But from there on out, Naupo turns it on. 6 goals in the last 3 games, including a Game 7 hat trick. And Game 7, so this is a reverse sweep here. I think it's the second time that's ever happened in a LAN playoffs. I could be wrong, but I think that's the stat that I heard. And Raleigh totally slowed down. I shout out to Raleigh for using a super ugly car. I hope more people use unique ugly cars, but this one did not help him. He shoots 0 for 10 games 4 through 7. Just totally slows down. Carmine Core cannot get it together. Weird exit for them from this tournament. Of course, Atau apparently was sick throughout Swiss. They limped through that Swiss. They barely beat Team Secret. And they have to go 5, of course. And yeah, maybe they just chalk this one up to like, all right, that was like super bizarre. Like, whatever, we'll move on to EWC and put our focus on Worlds. Twisted Minds, on the other hand, their only losses were to KC and Swiss, like we said, and NRG. So ironically, they're now in a position to avenge their loss against Carmine Core and then avenge their loss against NRG, who they're going to be facing in the next round here, which would be really crazy. And then if they end up winning that one against North America's Last Hope, we have a all-MENA semifinal, which would be crazy. Naupo currently a goal per game through this tournament. And he won the 1v1. Congrats to him. Falcons Dignitas. Falcons killed Dig. It was not close. Dignitas were stiff. They were slow. They were scattered. And you could tell that it was getting to them. Not only were Falcons looking awesome, but Dignitas were not looking very good. And you could tell, especially being there, Stizzy was unhappy. Joria's head in his hands. Jack was quiet. They just did not look very connected. And on top of that, Falcons were hitting that form we've seen from them, where they just get to this point where they look unstoppable. Everything they wanted was going their way. I think about this goal that happened when we were in game 2, where it's a quick transition. TRK lobs one up. Roas goes the other direction and just drops one on their head. Roas was all over. He had 5 goals in that game 3, which is just crazy. Tough look for Dignitas. Luckily, it's not their only life. They have a chance to right the ship against Team Secret here tomorrow, and I think that's a good one for them. Team Secret and Dignitas, both teams that like to not get up a ton of shots, not score a bunch. They're looking to restrict not only the shot opportunities, but also the shot quality of their opponents. Dignitas has found success domestically doing that against teams that kind of have high-powered offenses. I think Ninjas in Pajamas, Carmine Core, Vitality. That's not what Team Secret are. They're a much more reserved team, and they've really found their form. So Dignitas have got to be happy that they get Team Secret as opposed to somebody else. But at the same time, Team Secret looked great. Got to talk to Mata today after their matchup, doing some media, so that was super cool. Once I get back to like my full setup, hopefully I'll put that online. So yeah, I think Digger in a good spot, all things considered. Falcons have only dropped a game so far this whole event. They lead the event in shots per game, goals per game, and are allowing a Raleigh low 1 goal allowed per game against them. So great form for them. Speaking of Team Secret, just some quick notes about their series against Gentlemates. KV1 was playing much better than what we typically see from him. Mata was playing much better than what we typically see from him. So it's 2 guys who were having excellent events. I felt like Seiko was really getting it going offensively for the mates, but Juicy was kind of quiet, and Eugen had a couple of goals, but they weren't really like the crazy like mechy Eugen stuff that you typically anticipate. We had seen early in the opens Eugen in these big moments, kind of, it took him a second to get used to it, you know what I mean? And maybe that was this, where crowd day, big deal. This is Mata's 6th LAN. They're having a much better performance than what we saw from them in Birmingham. So hats off to them. KV1 now seeking his 2nd top 4. He had the one, what was that, 2 seasons back, where they beat version 1 and tried to make a run there. So I think mates are now going to be dropping down, having to qualify through LCQ. I think that's good for them. Get some reps, and they're going to come back even stronger than we've seen so far. Eugen continues to grind and is a great new talent in the scene, and I'm still a big believer in Seiko and Juicy as well. Just a weird day again. Finally, before predictions, NRG Vitality beatdown. I think the crowd, this was the only one where I felt like they had a big impact on the series. Everybody was loud and animated for NRG and against Vitality. And I think they actually were so amped up that they had a negative impact on NRG. Like, the crowd was so for them that NRG was like, oh my gosh, like, we kind of got to win this one. And they didn't look great. The offense was slow, especially Atomic and Beast Mode. Not series that are going to be in the Hall of Fame, videos. You know what I mean? Daniel, I felt like, was getting good touches, but they were tentative to push up. Like, offensively, they'd get a look, and then if there was like a distance where like you might be able to close for it, they would opt defensively, because I think they were afraid of getting beat in transition by Vitality. And it didn't matter. Zen was all over him anyways. Speaking of Zen, the most goals per game of any player at this event, 1.13. And furthermore, guys, he's over 30% shooting percentage, the 3rd highest shooting percentage of anybody at Raleigh. He's behind Lioro and Sosa, who didn't play a lot of games. So not only is he scoring more than anybody deep into the tournament, but he's also making a ton of them. So very impressive for Zen. Monkey Moon, 0.8 assists per game, maybe the best assist of the tournament so far. I think it was in game 2, where he gets this kind of pinch down, but into a perfect spot for Zen to finish. threaded it right through the defense. And there were a couple of those for Vitality where it was like NRG had somebody there, but it was just like great placement. And yeah, Vitality really got it going side to side. We were talking about how I felt like NRG was a little more reserved with their challenges, so they weren't getting a lot of offensive rebounds to sustain offense. Vitality were doing the opposite. They were positioning aggressively. So when one of those balls, you know, kind of clatters off the sidewalls and into the mid, they had a player there to finish on it pretty often, which I thought was a different maker. I feel like Vitality are the strongest team in the tournament, even though Falcons have looked great. I think this was a more impressive win here, and I would pick them against anybody at this stage. Yeah, Zen looks like the best player in the world. Let's close this out with some predictions. I'm going to go NRG 4-2 over Twisted Minds. The run stops here. Dignitas 4-3 over Team Secret. Vitality 4-1 over Dignitas. I'm going to take Falcons 4-3 over NRG and NIG, although I could be convinced that NRG will turn it around by that point. But either way, whether it's Falcons or NRG, I'm going to take Vitality to win this whole thing. I think they look great. So different video. I don't really know what format I'll be able to put this up on YouTube. It's too long for a short, but it's on my iPhone. I'll figure it out and post. Guys, it's late. I'm excited for tomorrow, but I'm punch drunk and I'm tired. So I'm going to go ahead and call it there. To anybody who I saw at the event, Drift, Joseph, K-Kun, I know I'm forgetting somebody, a couple of people there. Thank you guys for saying what's up. Super cool and validating to want to continue producing work and content for this that people enjoy. So thank you guys for that, and looking forward to seeing more people tomorrow during the First Touch Chalkcast deal. I'm going to be at section 130 for a little bit, just to say what's up. So come say hi. But that's it for me, guys. I will see you tomorrow, and until next time, guys, take it easy.